In fact, I think a lot of people in San Francisco and Oakland are going to be going, dude, where's my bus? Because the San Francisco Metropolitan Transportation Authority Board has said, hey, ridership is down 90%. They are looking at a $200 million loss, and without actual influx of stabilizing cash from the city, 40 out of 68 bus lines in Muni could be cut.
Oh.
Some may be just for the duration, some could be permanent. And it's more than just we're losing buses. Think about the fact that for the most part, especially for essential workers in places like San Francisco, this is how essential workers get to work. Public transportation, what less the essentials that basically we're now decided are cannon fodder, get to wherever they need to be so they can serve you your damned coffee. All right? And that's the frank truth. And it's not just Muni. This is a problem also for AC Transit. AC Transit, I don't have the figures on their losses, but they are saying exactly the same thing, that that's a bigger cut. And going back to when I lived in Alameda, we had stories about people who were doing a lot of service jobs and a lot of the driving and a lot of everything else, who had to live 2 to 3 hours away from the bay, like out in Pinole, to drive down to work into the city, because they couldn't find reasonable housing that would be anywhere close to the city based on their wages. So that was over a decade ago. I can't figure that has gotten any better. So that means we still have people who now need reliable transit, who might be either forced to get into a car that perhaps cannot possibly make it, so you've got an unsafe older car on the road, or they may not be able to work anymore in the city areas or in the Bay Area at all, and need to find something closer to where they're going to live if they cannot find regular public transit. What are we going to do? And I'm looking at this with the same jaded eyes that heard about all the businesses that got all the bailout funds that maybe they shouldn't have, and yet we're looking at public transit in a major metropolitan area, and this story is definitely not going to be just California anymore. I haven't heard anything from LA Transit, but New York City, I know, has dealt with their own closures and their own issues with funding public transit and maintaining cleanliness. So this is part of a sustainable world. We need good public transportation. And if fare revenue is the only way that funds it, then we have to really reassess what our commitments are to sustainability. And are these workers truly essential if we're going to basically screw them by cutting off the good way that they get to work? So there you go. Not great news, sorry.
And for certain people in certain job fields, first of all, you can't afford a car.
Yeah.
And then if you're in San Francisco, where are you going to park it? It costs $8 an hour to park your car, and you're making 15, or it doesn't pencil out.
No.
And then the people who have abandoned the bus for their cars and they're driving into the city. Okay, well, the streets aren't going to be empty forever, and the parking lots aren't going to be empty forever, and you're going to be reminded real fast why you took the bus instead of driving a car every day.
Yeah, but then if the bus route you were depending on has been canceled, now instead of a half-hour bus ride, you have to transfer twice and go around, and it takes 2 hours instead. Oh, and that's just one way, and now your time has just been destroyed.
Yeah.
Or you buy a shitty, crappy beater car to get you to work because that's all you can afford, and then you skip buying insurance for it because you can't afford the insurance, and then the wheels fall off, and then someone gets hurt and no one gets paid for it. It's just
and you have a pile of parking tickets.
Yeah, and parking tickets.
So let's see if we can uplift the spirits a little, because I remember when we talked about this before, Patrick was talking about how Portland did it the right way.
We took highway funds to build our first light rail, and it was actually federal money that was allocated it was there was threats of suing the state for misappropriating funds, and but we've taken that initial light rail and built upon it, and now it goes all over the place, east side, west side, airport, and they built a bridge that is only foot traffic, bikes, and the light rail, no cars at all. Yeah, we've done a lot to support public transportation here.
Yeah, and I've mentioned several times on the show that my wife and I love vacationing in Portland, and one of the reasons we love going to Portland is that we don't have to rent a car. From the airport to the B&B where we stay to downtown to the outskirts, we can just take the train and the bus and go wherever we want to go, and it's a beautiful thing. And that's what you get when you don't cut 40 lines, when you defund it. When you find the funds and you keep it alive, it becomes vibrant, and people see the value of mass transportation.